IGN must be stopped. Welcome to the TRG YouTube channel. My name is Logan, and I want to talk about something that comes up in the Discord server every now and then. You see, we always have these rankings of games, right? There are favorites of different games on different systems. And it's something that one of the people in Discord, who will remain nameless, but Jimicus will from time to time share a list that is put out by IGN of like the top 25 games on whatever system. And it seems like every single list, there's always at least a handful of games that should be on the list that aren't there. And it always makes us in the Discord server a little upset. And he recently shared one that is the top 25 games of the Nintendo Gamecube recently. And I said, you know what? Enough is enough. Now is the time that I'm just going to do a live reaction to one of these and put it on the YouTube channel and hopefully generate some discussion. So if there's a game on this list that you see is missing, leave it in the comments down below. But let's cringe together as we look at this list that's put up by IGN. All right, so I have the list pulled up here, and let's take a look at this. I can see that there's Metroid Prime and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker on here, so we're off to a good start. Okay, I'm gonna try and be optimistic about this, you know, because the GameCube is my favorite game system of all time. There's a lot of great games. It's hard to fit all of them on a 25 best of list, but let's just go through it here. So let's scroll down and see. Okay, number 25, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Now, has a brief synopsis of the game here that says it's told over a span of 2,000 years. Features a woman named Alex trying to uncover the truth about her grandfather's mysterious murder. And then what follows is a series of flashbacks that each explores different events that have occurred in the house over the last couple of centuries. Now, I played this game for maybe a total of an hour before it just scared the doo-doo out of me. And I just stopped playing it. It scared me too much, and I had heard the stories about how it makes it seem like it's messing with your TV and it erases your save file. At the time, that kind of stuff would really freak me out, especially when I first played Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes, and Psycho Mantis would say like, oh, so you're a fan of Super Smash Brothers or whatever, and this stuff would scare me. But this is a game that I wish I had played more of because you just hear so many good things about it, and so it's nice to see it on this list. Now, I'm assuming that they're ordering these in terms of rank, and 25 best of, and this is at the bottom of the list. It's gonna be interesting to see what else they have. So let's continue down the list here. WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games. I think I forgot that there was a WarioWare game on the GameCube. I think everybody knows what WarioWare is at this point in time. It's just a collection of mini games featuring Wario. They're usually pretty zany, off the wall, bonkers. But to say that this is better than Eternal Darkness, I don't know. Y'all in the comments, let me know. Luigi's Mansion at number 23. Okay, I would personally put that higher. Luigi's Mansion was the first GameCube game that I got with my system, and I adored this game. I could not get enough of this game. Putting it so low, I'm gonna be honest, guys. This rubs me the wrong way a little bit. Starting off, I would at least put Eternal Darkness and Luigi's Mansion up higher. 22, Beyond Good and Evil. That seems really low because this game, this was the game that when it dropped, it was kind of the talk of the schoolyard because people just really enjoyed it, and I accidentally scrolled down. So I guess okay, we'll just keep going. Skies of Arcadia Legends. This is another game I wish I would have played. This is a game that is on my gaming shame sort of thing. I never got around to this game. I always saw it at the video store. Do y'all remember video stores? I remember seeing this at the video store, and I was always going to rent it, but I never did because I would always rent like Fire Emblem or Custom Robo was another one. Which, by the way, Custom Robo better be on this list. That was a great game. Skies of Arcadia is one that I've always heard so much good about, and this is actually one that I am trying to hunt down for my GameCube to add it to my library. But man, some of these retro GameCube games are expensive. This one included. I think the cheapest I've seen this is like $180. I don't know. This is one, like, with as much as I hear about it, I would think it would be higher, like top 10. That's interesting. All right, let's continue on. Killer 7. Was Killer 7 on the GameCube? Really? Well, no, I guess that would be the GameCube, because after the GameCube was what? The Wii? And Killer 7... No, yeah, that was on the GameCube. That's right, because it had the Roman numeral. It's interesting that Killer 7 is on this list. Was that game really that good? I don't remember hearing a whole lot about this game when it came out. This was one that I remember it got remade, like remastered for the next gen systems of like the 360, PS3, that era. But even then, it's like, I don't really... Okay, that's an interesting pick. Resident Evil. Now, this is the 3D remake, right? Remake is so good. Okay, so this is the remake of Resident Evil. I don't know if I would put that low, though. This was a GameCube exclusive for the longest time, especially when all the Resident Evil games were coming to the GameCube. I remember that because I rented these games from the video store and tried to face my fears and play through them, and it didn't happen. But man, that's interesting that this is that low, because this kind of started the whole remake thing with Resident Evil. Don't tell me, oh my gosh, it just dawned on me, don't tell me they're putting a Resident Evil 0 above this. Don't do it, IGN. Metal Gear Solid, the Twin Snakes. What is this image? Why is Batman? Are you seeing this? Why is Batman in here? And Nathan Drake in a metal... What image is this? First of all, Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes at 18, I'm kind of okay with. I'd probably put it in top 15 because it was so cool when it came out, but I think more than anything, this image is really throwing me off. Nathan Drake, Batman, Metroid Prime 2 Echoes at 17. I don't know how I feel about this either, because I would put this higher. Like Metroid Prime 2, well, no, I guess Metroid Prime 1 was more influential and kind of like whoa when it first came out. In 2, I remember being a little controversial when it came out. There was a wide array of opinions, at least amongst me and my friends, and I remember seeing some of the reviews saying like, it's either too samey or it backtracks too much. I will say this, I would put Eternal Darkness above Metroid Prime 2, and I'm a huge Metroid Prime fan. I don't know, this list feels weird. It feels weird. Ikaruga at 16, okay. I would kind of agree with this placement. Ikaruga's a really good kind of shoot 'em up, bullet hell sort of game. If you've never checked out Ikaruga, I highly recommend checking it out. It's this cool like shoot 'em up where you can swap the modes of your ship to where it's light or dark, and it has this cool mode where if your ship is light, it absorbs the light attacks, and if your ship is dark, it absorbs the dark attacks. And so you have to be really quick with it. It's really good. It's a really, really good game. And I'm gonna be honest, 16, I think I'm okay with that placement. It is a good game, but I don't know if it would crack the top 10 for me on this list, but I'm glad they had that on here. This is a game that not a lot of people know about and more people need to know about. It is a good game. Okay, so next up we've got Pikmin at 15. Pikmin at 15, I think I'm okay with that placement too. Like, Pikmin's really good, don't get me wrong. This is a game that I did rent a couple times from the video store and had a lot of fun with. And I think I'm okay with the rank 15 placement. But for those who don't know, I mean, hopefully you know what this game is by now if you've been playing on Nintendo systems for a while. But you basically land on this planet and you control these Pikmin, these little leaf characters, to carry out a variety of tasks. You do some squad management and these Pikmin have different abilities and powers, and so it was a good game. Really good game, especially on the GameCube. It was super cool. Beautiful Joe at 14. I'm gonna be honest, I feel like Beautiful Joe is a little low on the list. This is one of those like seminal cult classic games that when you think of the GameCube, you think of Beautiful Joe. This was one of those games on there that was like, it like personified the GameCube. It like made its mark on that system and was a staple of the GameCube. This is like one of those this is one of those like must play games on the GameCube. 14 I feel is a little low. I'm gonna be honest, 14's a little low to me. I would definitely place that in top 10, maybe even top 5. That's how good Beautiful Joe is. So it makes me wonder just what do they have in the top 10, and even more so wondering what do they have in the top 5. Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. This is a game, I haven't heard people stop talking about this ever since this game came out. I'm surprised it's not top 10. Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door was another one of those seminal games. Like if you had a GameCube, this is one you had to have on there. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's on the list, but 13? Come on, IGN. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance at 12. I can actually agree with that. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance was one, again, I mentioned this earlier, was one that I rented a lot from the video store. I wasn't good at the game, but I would play this, and Fire Emblem was at the Sacred Stones on GBA. I think 12 was an okay placement for it, to be honest. I might personally would put it in the top 10, but I'm so glad it's on there. And 12 is respectable enough. Soul Calibur 2 at 11. Interesting. I put a lot of time into this game, and it is a really stinking good game, especially since you could play as Link on the GameCube version. I don't know that I would put it this high, though. I'd probably, because what did we have for 13 on here? Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I'd swap spots with Paper Mario or Beautiful Joe for this game, for Soul Calibur 2. And that's not to say that Soul Calibur 2 was a bad game. And that's not to say that Soul Calibur 2 was a bad game. It's just, if I were to rearrange this list a little bit, I think I would put Soul Calibur 2 a little further back. And Mario Kart Double Dash, sure, I'm okay with that, actually, because Double Dash was a really good game. Okay, I'm okay with that pick. That's not a bad way to start off the top 10, is with Mario Kart Double Dash. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader at 9. Two things with this pick. One, I completely forgot about this game. This game was stupid good. Really, really good. And is it good enough to be in the top 10? Absolutely. That's a surprise to me. Good pick. Very good pick. At 9, I'm okay with that. But again, this makes me wonder, like, what do they have in the later ranks at the top, like, 5 and all that? Number 8, Pikmin 2. Really? I'm trying to remember if I even played Pikmin 2. I don't think I played Pikmin 2, so I don't know if it's better than the first one. So I'm just going to defer to them here. What does it say here? As great as the original Pikmin is, the franchise continued to improve with Pikmin 2. While it abandoned some of the engrossing stress that came with the original's time limit, opening things up really allowed players to navigate Pikmin 2's mysterious world to their own whims. Adding in new Pikmin types with new abilities and Olimar's partner Louie allows for plenty more variety on the hunt of Pikmin 2's fantastic continuation of the series. So I'm assuming from this one it added in a co-op feature. Again, I haven't played Pikmin 2, so I don't know if this is a good placement or not. But even then, I can't help but think about Beautiful Joe, Fire Emblem, Metal Gear, like some of those games. I would put this probably here at 8. At least Beautiful Joe, 100%. This is, or maybe even Paper Mario. This is, I don't know. It's an interesting pick, and I'm already seeing Super Mario Sunshine at number 7. Respectable, but I remember this being a bigger hit when it dropped. Especially when you think of the GameCube, like, what do you think of? Obviously, Super Mario Sunshine. And so it's interesting to see it at number 7. We're getting down to the wire here. So let's see what the top 6 is. Animal Crossing. Okay, I'm glad to see Animal Crossing in the top 10. I kind of wish it was in the top 5. This, again, makes me wonder what's in the top 5. But Animal Crossing was, man, when it first came out, what a game. What a game. I put so many hours into that game between trying to pay off my debt to Tom Nook and then trolling Mr. Rossetti, RIP Mr. Rossetti. We don't see him anymore in Animal Crossing New Horizons. And just creating your own clothing. Man, that game was, when it came out, I mean, there's a reason they still make Animal Crossing games, and it has such a big audience behind it. It's a great game. So number 6, I'm okay with that. But what's number 5? Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So obviously Wind Waker's up here. I'm gonna take a guess right now and say Wind Waker's probably number 2, maybe number 1 on the list. I'm gonna be honest though, I am not the biggest fan of Twilight Princess. I remember playing it on the Wii and I did not really like it. I was not a big fan of it. And maybe it's just because it was the time that I played it and the system that I played it just didn't really play very well on the Wii, because you're just like, you could take the Wii remote and just kind of like flop it around, and it, like, no matter what, it just wasn't very cool. I just don't think it was a good use of the motion controls. So I never really liked it. I also thought it was like way too long. It is a long Zelda game, and I don't know if I don't remember really liking it. So I don't know if I'd put it in the top 5. I would honestly probably swap out Animal Crossing and Twilight Princess, swap their places. Personally, I can already see what number 4 is, and I'm glad it's there. Resident Evil 4. I remember when this game first came out, it was a GameCube exclusive, and they made that awful chainsaw controller for it to come out at the same time, or around the same time. And I remember going to buy this game, and I almost didn't get it because I wasn't old enough at the time. I wasn't 17. And the person at Best Buy almost didn't give it to me. But he did bring it to me, and he handed it to me. He was like, okay, just if you check out, tell them that your parents sent you in to pick this up. And I was like, okay. But my parents were already waiting at like checkout. They sent me to go get the game. But this is a good game. Really good game. There's a reason that I play this probably once a year. Number 3, Super Smash Bros. Melee. I'm okay with that. You can't have a Nintendo system without Smash Bros. On it. And Super Smash Bros. Melee was another game that we would spend hours upon hours upon hours, me and my friends just playing and trying to unlock all the characters and try to beat the hardest mode on the story mode and stuff like that. And man, it was good. And then you get young Link in there, Dr. Mario, Mewtwo. I was super stoked to see Mewtwo in there. Mewtwo is one of my favorite Pokemon. And I already see what's number 2, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. Interesting that it's not number 1. I was thinking it'd be number 1, but I also guessed number 2. So Wind Waker's a good game. I will say this. This is a game that, if I remember correctly, when it first came out, people hated it. They hated the cell shading. They hated the young Link. They hated it. That's why Twilight Princess is so dark as it is, because people hated Wind Waker. But you talk to people now and people say that like Wind Waker is one of the best Legend of Zelda games, and they're right. But man, when this game came out, people hated it. So this begs the question then, what is number 1? Metroid Prime at number 1. Huh. Wow. I was not expecting this. I think IGN might have made a decent list. I'm sorry, I am so stunned right now. I mean, it makes sense because we hadn't seen Metroid Prime yet on the list, so of course they would put it on there. Not bad, not bad. Metroid Prime is one of the most sublime video game experiences of all time. Yes, it is. Not only is Prime exactly the right game for Metroid's 3D debut, its undeniable quality, you hear that? Undeniable quality, would have shown through had it not built on the existing fiction of the Metroid universe. It's without question the best GameCube game and one of the best games ever made for any system. Absolutely. No, you know what? You know what, IGN? Never mind. You keep making these lists. This is an okay list. It may not be the best list. I would probably move some things around. I was expecting to go into this list and be mad at IGN, but then they drop out this decent top 5 with the cherry on top of Metroid Prime with the exquisite write-up for it. Never mind. This is a decent list. It's okay. You know what, IGN? I've changed my mind. You don't need to stop. Keep making more of these. This is great. I like it. I will ask you this, though. Now that we've reached number 1, what are some games that you would put in the top 25 games of the Nintendo GameCube? Was there anything on here that you think should be on there? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, if you like this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. We always do podcasts every other week, news roundups every Friday. And then I'm also playing through games in my backlog, aka my library, and I'm going through the Trails in the Sky series, so be sure to check out those videos as well. But with that being said, I'll see you in the comments, and until next time, be a deer, keep it locked here, and I'll see you in the next video.